We're going to start lying down on the floor. If you usually use a pillow to support your head when you lie down, you should use one. If you don't, it's not necessary. Get down on your back, bend your knees, put your feet flat on the floor, and I want you to bring your big ball onto your belly. If it's going to roll off, you can support it with your hands lightly, resting your elbows on the floor and letting your hands just keep the ball. And let's start with observing our breath by seeing if we can inhale and push the ball up. And as you exhale, let it sink down. Try to inhale and exhale through your nose for this exercise. And I want you to begin to see if you can inhale for longer in order to let the ball rise up further. You may notice that you consistently kick the ball to one side as you inhale. You may notice that certain parts don't push in. Just stay noticing. And as you do that, see if you can begin to prolong your breath. Every time taking a little longer to inhale and a little longer to exhale. Keep focusing on your breath as I speak. More than likely, you'll start to want to do some slow, cultivated wiggles to readjust yourself longer on the floor as the breath begins to show you where you are getting knotted up inside. When that happens, do it. And you may also begin to notice that the pauses in between your inhalation and exhalation are getting longer. Go ahead and really spend some time in those pauses to see where the internal movement continues to happen. Also noticing if your breath is jagged in parts, if maybe there are some sobbing sighs that need to come out as you begin to pull oxygen into the new places you find. Now we're going to start focusing on the sinking in of that ball. So on your next exhalation, I want you to notice how it falls down in between your legs and your ribs. How the abdominals are sinking flat against the floor. And I want you to try to hold that out for a count of 2. When you go to breathe in through your nose, imagine that you're smelling something you love and allow the sensation of welcoming that smell into your body. Seeing how you inflate yourself now. What inflates first, the top of your tummy or the bottom? What's pushing the ball where? As you exhale, observe the sinking. Feel your musculature begin to embrace the back of your body. And then sit there with the breath out for a count of 3, 2, 1. And inhaling, smelling something delicious. Notice if perhaps after the breath has filled up your abdomen, it also swells through your chest or open your arms. And then exhale and let that ball sink down, down. And then begin to pull the abdomen in, following that movement away from the ball. And hold out for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. This time, let's try to inhale from the bottom to the top. So consciously filling up the lower abdomen, down by your thighs. And then allowing the breath to roll up through the upper abdomen. And then filling up the chest, flooding through your arms. Suspend the breath. And exhale, feeling everything fall away from the ball. And then pull your stomach away from that ball. And stay out for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One last breath here. Inhaling to move the ball from the bottom of yourself up to the top. If it threatens to roll, just keep it back with the tips of your fingers. Flooding the breath through your chest, your arms, the back of your head. And then exhale, let yourself fall away from it. And then pull those muscles away from it. If this is working for you and you want to continue doing this for longer, please pause the video and keep on doing just this much. Diaphragmatic breathing is one of the best things you can do to regulate your emotional system. And when we experience trauma, we stop breathing into a lot of parts of our bodies. This simple awareness and the ability to bring breath back in to where we weren't breathing is the most important thing you can do. But there are some other exercises, so I'll teach you another one. You can roll to one side and place the ball down, and slowly come up onto your hands and knees. You're going to bring the ball in front of yourself and place it low down on your abdomen, and then just drape yourself forward for a supported child's pose. If you don't like the idea of breathing in rubber, by all means turn your head to one side. But eventually you're going to find that the beautiful traction available to you here will bring your chin back into a neutral position. So you get your head on one side, the legs support on the other side, and the arms are helping you to balance. You're not entirely released here, you're mainly released. We're going to repeat the same breathing pattern, only now as you inhale, you're going to feel your stomach press into the ball. And as you exhale, you'll feel it rise away, and then pull it up into your back, trying to lift away. Let's go ahead. Breathing in through your nose. Pausing. See if you can't pull in even more breath. And then breathing out. Allowing the spine to drape down and then lifting the abdomen up away from the ball. And continue breathing here in this position as I talk to you. Depending on if you shift your hips backward slightly or forward slightly, The traction available to you via the increased space of your inhalation is going to change. And that's going to allow you better leverage to open up the places inside of you that got really stuck and tight. Keep on cultivating those slow wiggles of curiosity within yourself as you slowly allow your breath to wave through your body. Notice that as you exhale and lift your abdomen away, that the breath and the ball begin to fill those spaces inside of you that have just begun to open up. Check in as well for the possibility of additional traction between the back of your head, the neck, your shoulders. See if you can adjust your chin or your arms so that as the breath rises up through your upper body, you can use that to fill the spaces that were getting really tight and really hard. And begin to prolong the exhalation and the place where you suspend and your stomach is lifted up. If this is really working for you and you want to stay doing it longer, pause the video and keep on doing this. Otherwise, slowly raise yourself up and take your hips further away from the ball, getting your forearms onto it. Depending on if you clasp your hands or if you place them down, different things will open in your shoulders. What I would like you to do is begin with resting your head down, bring your toes up onto the wall, and then begin to let your hips sink back away from the ball. Inhale from the bottom to the top. Watch the breath as it swells differently through your back body. And then exhale also from the bottom to the top, pulling your abdomen into your spine and suspending your exhalation. You can deepen the stretch in your shoulders by moving the ball away from yourself and allowing your head to sink through. You can either support your forehead on the ball or allow it to drop down, depending on what your body is telling you. Keep breathing. Whenever the shudders come up, ride them out. You don't have to push anything, but you want to let the waves that are rising up inside of your body release. Give them a place to be and let them go away. And fill those spaces that are created with more breath. Nothing has to be fast or big. Just keep it like the waves of a calm ocean that wind up being grander and more powerful than stronger, more forceful efforts, simply because of their gentle consistency that ultimately take the jagged edges of the rock, smooth them out, and polish them. Untuck your toes, sit your hips back, and push on the ball as you lift your stomach into your spine to come up. And then we'll go ahead and sit on the ball. Inhale now here. See if you can find that same breath filling up from the bottom to the top. And exhaling also from the bottom to the top. And I'd like you to imagine that you could see yourself on a screen in front of yourself. Get a sense of your picture, even if it's just a stick figure or a blurry shadow. And make a little dot at the bottom of your spine. And then mentally connect that dot to a corresponding dot down at the center of the earth. And draw a line from one to the other. And allow that to be a grounding cord for you. That from that can release any energy you no longer need. As you exhale, feel that as the breath exits your body upwards, the things you don't need are flushed down through that cord, allowing a little clarity around your space, a cleaner headspace, some room to think. As much as you can, when you find yourself getting amped up, try to return to this breath. That's all. Take care.